Your alarm goes off in the morning, 5:45 a.m., but you were already awake before the alarm even rang, because this is something your body has learned. A real FBI agent's day doesn't actually start at 5:45. It has already started sometime during the night. Today, you are an FBI agent. But what does that really mean? Forget everything you've seen on television. Breaking down doors, armed chases, dramatic interrogation rooms. The real answer looks far more boring. But it's actually far stranger. Your first task in the morning isn't checking your phone. It's scanning the surroundings of your home. Has anything changed in front of the door? Is there a mark under the car? This isn't paranoia. This is part of the situational awareness protocol taught to you at the FBI Academy. At the FBI Academy in Quantico, 40% of candidates leave before training ends. Why? Because what's being taught isn't how to use a weapon. What's being taught is how to reprogram your brain. 6:30 in the morning. You're heading to the office. But the office isn't what you think. There are no caseboards on the walls. The lights aren't dimmed. Everything looks like a normal corporate building. This is a deliberate choice, because the real work isn't in the display, it's hidden in patience. The first meeting of the day is a case briefing, but something interesting happens here. You're played an audio recording, a suspect's statement, and you're asked, is it a lie or the truth? Psychologist Paul Ekman's years of research showed that the human face produces micro-expressions lasting as little as a 40th of a second, beyond So, do you ever do this in your own life? When a friend says, "I'm fine," do you ever catch the slightest tremor in their voice? That's a small version of the same system. The difference is that an FBI agent has consciously trained it, 9 a.m. field duty. But what's called field duty is often just sitting in a car and waiting, watching people. Here the real answer becomes even stranger, because surveillance isn't action, it's a test of patience. Watching a target for hours, waiting with nothing happening, then not missing a single second-long movement. Stress researcher Robert Sapolsky shows that prolonged, low-intensity vigilance places a very different kind of load on the body than short-term acute stress does. An FBI agent's body has to learn to stay ready but calm for hours at a time. This is the desktop version of what a hunter does while lying in ambush on the savannah. Noon, a witness interview. Here, you ask far fewer questions than you'd think. Because the real technique is silence. The human brain can't tolerate silence. When a gap is left open, the person across from you feels the need to fill it. Sometimes by telling the truth. Sometimes by saying more than they should. Have you ever noticed this? How, when there's silence in a conversation, you immediately feel the urge to say something. Afternoon, a profiling session. The years-long work of John Douglas, one of the real founders of the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit, revealed that a crime scene doesn't show who the offender is, but how the offender thinks. This isn't mind reading the way you might imagine. This is pattern. Thousands of cases, thousands of details, and seeing that these details follow a recurring logic. 5 p.m. Report writing time. This is the part never shown in the movies. But most of the real work happens here. Every observation, every detail is recorded word for word. Because a year later in a courtroom, it won't be your memory that speaks. It will be what you wrote on paper. You head home in the evening. But going home doesn't mean the day is over, because your brain doesn't know that office hours have ended. Even while eating, You choose the seat at the table that faces the door. When you walk into a restaurant, you automatically count the exits. This isn't a habit. This is a version of your brain that's now wired differently. So does this come at a cost? It does. People who work this way for a long time are seen to struggle with learning to trust, because a mind that's constantly in evaluation mode never fully closes the question, is this person trustworthy? But here's the truly striking part. You're already doing this. Maybe you don't have a badge. Maybe you don't have a weapon. But every day, you read people, voices, glances, the gaps between words. The human species evolved as one that couldn't survive alone. This is why your brain came equipped with a system that constantly calculates who is trustworthy and who isn't. An FBI agent consciously sharpens the system, but the system itself already exists in your mind. 11 p.m. One last check.